Hello, everyone. It's Sean from Go-Wirral. We are here with Charli Fidler. Charli is, for us in our household on the Wirral, like the best player in the Netball Super League, and we watch it every week. I'm going to talk about why you're our favourite player. Because, like, firstly, our daughter played goalkeeper last year, and there's just something about your playing style, actually, that is just so watchable and so entertaining. Just for those that don't know you, do you just kind of want to tell people very, very briefly about maybe like who you are and how you've ended up in the UK?
Uh, well, yes. So as you can probably already tell from my accent, I'm not from the UK. I'm from Australia. I live in Sydney, but I have done like the whole of the New South Wales pathway, and I started playing like on the grass at 7, and I just did it for fun to make friends because I moved schools and mum wanted me in a team sport. And then I did like reps. I don't know what the equivalent in the UK is, but I did reps under 15s, and then I made schoolgirl, so I represented my state. And then from there you do like under 17s, under 19s for your state, and you play everyone in Australia. And then from that competition they pick like Aussie squads. So I did my whole time I'm under 17s, and then under 19s I was in the under 19 and 17s Aussie squad. And then I also made the under 21s Aussie squad. And then I was a training partner at Giants for 3 years. And then in my third year, I debuted against Firebirds. I actually played against Danelle, which was my debut, which was pretty cool. We won, which was made it even better. And then from there, I got picked up at Tactics. So I lived a year in Christchurch in New Zealand, and it really grew me as a person, not as just as a netballer as well. And then from there, Sonia reached out to me. She actually played for Tactics as well in her past career, but then she messaged me, and yeah, then I ended up in Birmingham, which was something I didn't expect, but also it was probably one of the best things I could have done. And yeah, I'm just living life now.
Yeah, I love it. And just to say, really, congratulations on your first season in the Netball Super League. As I say, in our house, you're definitely the most watchable player. I will talk about why that is in a minute. And as far as I can tell, you've led the competition for interceptions, gains, and rebounds, haven't you? Number one for all. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Right, okay. So I seen that and I was like, is that still valid? Because the grand finals and the finals came after it. So I didn't know whether that was still valid, but I think it is. I think you leave for all of them in your first season. It's pretty impressive, isn't it, in your first season? So are you happy with that? And are you aware about stats as the season goes on or not?
Of course, like I'm very happy with that, especially coming from New Zealand. I didn't really play much, so this year I kind of just took every second I was on the court as an opportunity to play my best netball. I think like I'm aware of my stats within my team, but I don't really look at it as on a, like a big as across the league until like Super League like post things. And then it got towards the end of the season. I think it was my last game, and there was two more teams to play. And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, actually I'm coming first. And then I was like, they've got one more game. It won't really matter. They'll probably overtake me. And then 2 weeks later, NSL posted it, and I was like, this is cool. But yeah, I think I'm going to focus on what in my team stats because I can always see where I can improve and stuff like that. But it is cool to be recognized across the league with what I did. But yeah, just take every game as it comes, I guess.
Yeah, very good. I'm very humble because there's some massively impressive stats. So you got 36 interceptions, 90 gains, 46 rebounds across the season. Massive, massive stats. And I just think that stats drive performance. I've had this chat before with Claire Nelson of the NSL. I think stats are just becoming to kind of come into the forefront. And
Hmm.
maybe you see that more in Australia. So Australia, are they stat and data driven more than us, do you think?
I think, well, based off like the team environments I've been in, I think we do focus a lot more on stats in Australia and New Zealand. I think we focused on them a lot more because we were like, if we get this benchmark, we can win games, like that kind of things.
KPI,
But
almost like
yeah,
KPIs.
yeah. And like if we don't reach it, what went wrong? But I think fans like to see the stats, and I think NSL are putting them out more. But I do think, well, Aussie have like their NIS and net points, so like who performs the best each game, and then they have, I think, the team of the week or round or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like people can see that. So I do think Aussie especially really tracks that more than probably New Zealand and England. But I definitely have noticed England like pushing stats out
Yeah.
a lot, which is cool for fans to see because they don't obviously notice all the time. They kind of just watch the game.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain percentage, stat wise, of fans that are just very interested in the data, aren't they, in American football? I mean, all of that is data driven. All of that
Yeah.
is just, basketball
Mm.
and the NBA. It's all about people's percentages, isn't it? So the fans are like more in line with the
Yeah.
stats even than the players probably. But let's talk about you a little bit more in your playing style. Your playing style is. Do you know how dramatic you are? By the way, have you?
Yeah, I do.
You're very dramatic. Yeah, yeah, and you like outdoors in the sense that you just fall over all the time, don't you? You're always on the deck. You're always putting your body on
Mm.
the line, on the line. So your playing style is like entertaining, brutal. I think when you're going
Mm.
for rebounds, like from just watching my daughter, that's the most physical that he can be because you're off the ground.
Mm.
You're off the ground and you're using strength against strength in
Mm.
apparently a non-contact sport, but it's completely contact at that point. And that's how you end up on the floor, isn't it? But for me, it's like the elite level that you go to in terms of your gains, your rebounds, your interceptions. And also
Mhm.
why you're entertaining is because you smile. You're always smiling while you do it. So you're falling over, you're getting aggy with people that you're playing against, but you're still smiling through it. Have you always played like that?
I used to be really bad with umpires, but I've learnt like sometimes you just have to smile it off. Because if you get aggy, your player wins because they've got into your head.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I've always been quite like my presence is quite large on the court. Like people know I'm on the court because I'm so loud. But I'm someone that will do anything to win the ball for my team, and I will if that means I have to dive on the floor, I'll dive on the floor. Like I really just put everything I have into every single game, like every minute. Every time the ball comes down, I'm trying to win it back for my team. But I think that's just something that I've always had, and I'm quite like I have a bit of like grit when I play, and I love a good hustle. And I think that's something that's always been in my game, and I think that's where how I've got so far because no matter what happens, I'm always giving it my all, and I'll fall over and I'll fall over, but I just keep getting back up. But I think that's just something that's always been a part of my game. And I think that's also been why I've been so successful and gotten to where I have
Yeah.
because of my passion and energy. But yeah, I think definitely it's always been a part of my game, whether that was in goalkeeper or in goal shooter because I used to shoot
My daughter plays.
probably up to 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then I had to pick an end and I picked defense because I thought there was more shooters in front of me in the pathway and they were better than me. So I picked defense and also I don't really have that princess energy of a shooter. I feel like I'm more of a defender naturally, but I do practice my shooting all the time. I'm always here if anyone needs. I'll sink your super shots, guys. But no, I'm always practicing because I love it. But also, I think it really allowed me to grow as a defender because I know what shooters want to do and where they want to be. So, and then even when I was shooting, I could flip it and be like, I know where my defender wants to be. So, I think that was pretty cool as well. So, I do think that has helped me. But, I was not always a defender. I've always defended, but I played both ends. But now just goalkeeper, goal defense.
So obviously you told us about your journey in Oz and that journey from youth. So you played from the age of 7, and then you ended up
Hmm.
as a training partner at Giants in one of the toughest pathways. Netball is as big as so many other sports in Australia, isn't it? It's huge. Like
Hmm.
what are the main things that got you to where you are in terms of knockbacks, resilience? You ended up being a
Hmm.
training partner at Giants, which is obviously the end of that kind of journey from playing from the age of 7. So what were the main things that you needed to gruel your way through that to Giants?
I think like I've had a few no's throughout the journey, but always, as mum would always say, like, it's a no for now, then something will come from it. So a few of like, we have like Western Sydney Academy of Sport, which is like another pathway on top of that. And I got knocked out really early in the process. And then I got a call like 3 months later saying, we've had someone withdraw. Can you please join it? So that was a no, not now, but maybe like later.
Uh-huh.
And then I've also had like my first year under 17s, I didn't make the team. I got knocked out second round. And then I got a call a month later saying, would you like to be in the identification program? So that was a no. And then it turned into something else. So I think it's just being open minded. And if you take the no and you shut down, you're not going to be able to grow from that. It's just you weren't ready at the time, especially for team selections. They're taking the 12 best at the time because it's normally a short campaign and you just might not be ready this year. But I have had some setbacks, but also I think it has built my resilience. But then, yeah, I think it is a big pathway, especially at Giants. I was the 2 years of COVID for nationals. So I only got to go to one of my three. I went to my last year and I was vice captain. And we went undefeated and we won, which was like probably one of my favorite campaigns I've ever done. And the girls in my age group, we kind of just thought we'd probably just fade out. Some of us might be lucky, but Julie at the time, she had watched me through my whole school netball, and my best friend Erin, we went to the same school and we played netball together and we did the whole journey together. So she identified us through school program, and then when we finished high school, she reached out to us, and that's when I got offered training partner. But I think at the time we thought like it was going to be very hard because of COVID for us to get into anything, but she took the chance on us, and we've both have now different pathways. Obviously Erin's in the Giants team and playing really well, starting keeper and everything. So I'm obviously very excited for her, but I think, yeah, my pathway hasn't been yes all the time. I've had no's throughout it, but yeah, it's no for now. And then if you want it, you just have to earn it. And I think that's something that I've always done.
And then obviously you were with Giants for 3 years, were you, as a trading partner?
Yeah.
And then you went to New Zealand, didn't you? So what was the thinking behind the move? So you ended up eventually winning the Premiership in New Zealand. Making that decision is difficult, isn't it? So what went behind the decision making?
So I actually got offered a fourth year as a training partner at Giants, and obviously I got offered a contract, and obviously at the time I'd said yes because I hadn't heard anything from Australia. And my manager, she reached out to me. She's like, have you thought of going overseas? And I was like, well, I just didn't think there'd be an opportunity for me because New Zealand at the time only had the rule of one import.
Okay.
So I just thought they'd probably go for a vice tool holding shooter or a really strong mid-court player. Maybe. Anyway, I actually was at the airport about to board a plane for a 2-month trip to Europe. And Donna from Tactics reached out to me and she was like, we've watched you play Premier League, which is our top league in New South Wales. I would say our Premier League's probably the same level as Next Gen. It's very high quality. Like I'm playing with ex-Silver Ferns at the moment because I've dropped back into Premier League, moving back home for 2 months. So I'm still playing netball. But no, Donna saw my final series for Magic is my team and watched some of my games, and she identified me and she reached out to me. And obviously you want to be in a team. So for me, it was kind of a no-brainer. You don't want to always be on the training partner because you're just on the outside. You're just there. You're just waiting. So I was like, yep. I've never lived out of home. I had to start paying bills. I had to cook for myself. I had to clean for myself. It seemed quite daunting at the time, but I actually managed way easier than I thought I was going to. And I had like all this freedom and I had so much time and I could say like, this is my only job. I'm now an athlete, netball athlete. This is what I do for work, which was something I could only really dream of. And yeah, not many players can say that they won a championship in their first ever season.
First and only season.
Yeah, and I loved New Zealand. I love the people there. So it was so easy for me to move there. And also people have said it's only a flight home, and same with living in the UK, it's only a flight home, and if I need to get home I can get home. But yeah, no, it was so much fun and I'm so glad I did it. But also I wouldn't have played for Panthers this year if I hadn't gone to New Zealand. So everything works out for a reason.
It's just really interesting. I like hearing about like your mentality, and you see things as opportunities essentially, don't you? You don't see them as scary things. You see them as the worst thing that can happen is you just go home. Can happen is you just fly back, start again, do what you were already doing. So In terms of that season where you won the Premiership with tactics, what did that teach you as maybe like a leader about winning mentality and leadership? Did it teach you anything?
I think for me, I was a bench warmer and I didn't get much court time. So it took me a couple rounds to realize like, okay, your minutes will be limited.
Hmm.
So it was just like when I get out on that court, it could be the last time I play this season. So I just had to put everything out on the court,
Hmm.
and I did do that. But then I also like changed the way I thought, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to be the best bench warmer in the whole league. So I ensured our bench was spotless. The girls' water bottles were in order. Certain girls needed gels at quarter time, so I had the flavor they wanted sitting on their seat, their sweat towels all lined up. I had bibs if they were changing positions, sitting there, waiting there, and I was probably the loudest person in the
You're a
venue.
born
Like
leader.
I think,
You're a leader.
I think obviously I'm only young, but I think that was a turning point, and I was like, I can't control. That's something out of my control. And I was sitting behind two silver ferns, Jane and Cotton, and they're amazing players. And I learned so much off them. But then I was like, what can I contribute to this team? And mine was, screw it, I'm going to be the best bench warmer in the league. And I was. And I'll proudly say I was. But yeah, it was hard, especially living away from home and stuff. But I was like, at the end of the day, I want to win. I want a medal. I don't want to come second. So I did my job, and we we all have roles to play, and mine was just a little bit different that year, but it was so much fun doing it. And like I think, yeah, it's really shaped me as a person, and it's always team first.
Yeah. So you
And
didn't.
that's something that I'll always hold.
Yeah. So you kind of didn't sulk. You didn't kind of go, well, I've moved over here.
Mm,
And now I'm on the bench. A lot of people could
mm-hmm,
become resentful, couldn't they, and become a bit like, what was the point in this? But what you've done is
mm,
you've learned that what the team needs is someone to support them, someone to support them, and when the opportunity comes, take it. But only when the
mm-hmm.
opportunity comes, and I think that's a real testament to like your leadership, isn't it? Are you 22 now, or are you still 21?
I'm actually 23 on, so
That's mature. Okay, so to think like that is a mature way of looking at a situation. Where's that come from?
I don't know. I think probably the way I've been brought up, my family keeps it real, and we're straight shooters, so we kind of say it how it is. And I've had hard conversations with my mom about it, and my dad obviously, and like my sister's like as blunt as they come. So I'm grown up with like blunt answers, and I said to mom like, this is shit at the time, but and then I said all I can do is move forward and be the best, do whatever I can do for my team and be the best at it, and that's what I was best at. But yeah, I think it's just something I've always had, being that like mature. And also I just think I've always been team first. I just want to win. So yeah, I think that's probably driven me a lot, the want to win, because it's why we play netball. I don't care what everyone else says. We play to win. We don't play to lose. So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, absolutely. And then obviously you then took the jump and went to Birmingham Panthers.
Yeah.
I heard that the last time I listened to a podcast that you were living in Walsall, and we spoke about this before we went live. Like, and I just felt really sad when I heard that you were living in Walsall. I live in a place called the Wirral, and my family is from the Wirral originally. And there's beaches everywhere. It's actually called the Leisure Peninsula, so it's a peninsula. Yeah,
Mm,
and there's water everywhere, and you can swim with seals, and we've got water sports. And the last podcast I done was with all of that stuff exists here. And then I heard that you lived in
mhm.
Walsall, and I felt really sad actually. So, what was it like when you come from Australia to New Zealand, then you landed in Walsall? Culture shock.
Obviously, obviously very grateful that we had accommodation and we could live in a house and it locked the door and we were safe. But I think it was a shock. It was very convenient. It was around the corner from training. So it literally took us a minute in a car to get to training, which was super helpful. But yeah, it was definitely a shock for us. I know Tiana and Gabby both found it a bit hard. But we had a park down the road, so I think we walked it about 100 times. That's all we really had. But no, I think, yeah, looking back on it, not the best place, but we can't do much about it.
Maybe come to the Wirral.
Yeah.
There's a place here for you. Yeah,
Perfect.
It's a 2 hour drive from training,
Yes,
though. That's the only problem.
that's okay. It's only 2 hours. There's a few of us in the car, drive 1 hour
There you
each.
go, road
But
trip.
no.
Yeah, it's working. So Birmingham Panthers, obviously, they moved you straight into kind of vice captain, didn't they, in your first season? And I've heard you talk before about standards and kind of you're a little bit of a perfectionist, aren't you? So your standards are high and you expect a
Mhm,
certain level. You probably picked that up from Australia and from New Zealand. Like, what makes a leader in netball, do you think? What makes a
mhm.
leader at that level for you?
Yeah, well, I actually didn't even think I'd be put in that role. I have so much to learn still. But I just think, yeah, my expectation for high standards is something that I always will strive towards. And I do think my experience in Oz and New Zealand has really helped me have such a clear head of what I expect and what I want from training. But also that's come from the girls that I've surrounded myself with. So Joe Harden was the first shooter I ever trained against, and the baptism of fire that is. She sets a high standard. She expects a high standard from everyone, and that was including training partners. And I had like Amy Parmenter, Jamie Lee Price, like Tilly, April Bramley. Like I've been surrounded by girls always that have expected really high standards. And I think I looked up to them, and I want people to look up to me as someone that holds those standards. And then obviously moving to New Zealand, I had like Tapaya, I had Ericana, Paris Lokatui, Martina Salmon, Jane and Carden, like big names, but they also expected high level of a standard. And I had that in Sydney, and then I moved to New Zealand and I carried that through. And that's something that I'll pride myself on is I'll always try my hardest. And if it's not good enough, I'm going to call it out, because if we don't call it out, it kind of just gets pushed aside. And that's a moment of learning that we didn't learn. And I want people to call me up too if I do a bad pass, if I do something wrong,
Um,
because I want to learn and I want to grow as well. So
mhm.
if I start doing it to people, they'll be like, okay, it's normal. So we can do it to others. So it's never like, so people don't think it's targeted or it's an attack or anything like that. No, it's just standards we need to meet
Yeah.
so that we can be a better team and we can grow together. And I think a leader has that naturally. And I do think I have that quality. But yeah, I do think leadership is something that comes natural to some people. But yeah, definitely the expectation of like high performance and high performance behaviors. So like doing our PDMS every day, making sure we have our heart rate monitors, our hearts, our sports vests, right, and all the equipment we need so we can perform at our best, and fueling properly and all that kind of stuff. All the one percenters that people don't see, leaders do that naturally. And I do think that's something I'm always on top of, because if I do that, then the staff can do their job and then we can all train at the right standard. If you're injured or you have a niggle and you don't report it, then it turns into something else, something bigger. So I think, yeah, if I do that, others will follow. And that's, I think, what takes it to be a leader. But yeah.
Do you think that that's what maybe Sonia has seen in you as well? For with Birmingham Panthers being a pretty much brand new franchise and not having that kind of culture or standards in place yet because it's so new, do you think that maybe that's what
Mm-hmm.
Sonia's seen in you as someone that can establish really high level kind of values?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And I think she also brought me over for my personality, because I'm quite loud and I like to bring energy, because like it's a workplace at the end of the day. And if you're not having fun, you're not enjoying it. And I always like to have fun. I like to crack jokes. I like to be silly. I like to make everyone laugh. And I think she's definitely seen that in me. And I think that is also why she put me as vice captain, just to have that personality and someone to make it a little bit lighthearted when it needs to be. And when I'm serious, everyone will listen, because it's time to focus or that kind of stuff. But I definitely do think Sonia would have factored that in well,
Mhm.
pulling me over to the UK.
Yeah, and possibly she will have seen that in New Zealand as well, maybe that culture. It's just interesting because the next question's about, growing the UK game in line with Australia and New Zealand. And it's interesting that Sonia is maybe importing that culture and that value in
Hmm.
Panthers, which I actually think is a really good idea, by the way, as an aside. I
Hmm.
think learn from the best, and Australia are the best. So
Hmm.
learn what they are doing and bring it in order to kind of improve our game here. So in terms of our game here, How do we grow the game in the UK to the level where it is at the same level as Australia and the SSN? What is different there to here that we need to essentially replicate in order to grow the game so it's at the same kind of standard and stature as Australia?
I I definitely think obviously over in the UK there's the import rule, so you're only allowed two. And Aussie have no import rule, so
Okay.
that's why everyone's over there. Like you look at like the Thunderbirds who just
Yeah.
won, they have Shamira and Latanya in the defense end, and they have imports throughout the court. They have Kate Heff, so that's already
Yeah.
three, and we're only allowed two. And they can't be in the same area of the court. So if you sign two shooters, only one of them can be on the court at once. So I think that's a limitation that will stop it from growing, but I do think they will change that. And I think like UK netball has the backing and has the sponsorships, has the money, has the fan base to grow that. And I think once that rule changes, I think it will really open up the opportunity for so many other people. And like you bringing over more people from New Zealand, you bring the New Zealand flair into it because they play a very flary game. They like the big pass. They like the off body defense. And then if you brought some Aussies over, they like that short, sharp game and that hard one-on-one defense. But it also then grows the England players because they get to verse those internationals on a regular basis. So I definitely think that once that changes, or when, or if, or whatever, I think that will make a huge difference to the league.
Yeah.
I think that will be I think that's the main point.
Then I'm almost just wondering on the younger side of things, like how young we started here, and whether in
Hmm.
Australia you started maybe a lot younger. So did you start in primary school?
Yeah, so it depends. You either start when like between 5 and 7 is when
Mm,
most people start playing,
yeah,
and you play like on the grass courts with the short
it's
hoop.
pretty young.
You do net set go, and then yeah, a lot of kids start playing when they get to school. They make friends that are playing it. They start playing, and then yeah, it's a lot of community stuff that gets people involved in Aussie because everyone loves to do things in a community.
Yeah, and it's just that between 5 and 7. I don't think most people
Mm,
play in the UK until 10, 11, maybe. It's a
yeah.
significant gap, isn't it?
Mhm.
I think there's a couple of things that we need to work on. So obviously you talked about like how we could grow the game in the UK and the differences with culture between Australia and the UK, which is interesting because
Mhm.
you've got dual citizenship, haven't you? You've
Yeah.
you actually can play for the Roses.
Yeah, I
So
can.
do you have plans to play for the Roses?
I would love to. I'm very open to it. My dad's from the UK, so I'm lucky I have my dad's side of the family over there. So grandparents, auntie, uncle, and cousin, which has made living over there very easy because if I need something, I know I can call them.
Mhm.
But yes, it's definitely in my vision board. I would love to play for England. It's something that I'm working towards. So hopefully down the path in the future, hopefully I get that opportunity. But yeah, just have to wait and see and just keep trying to my best and playing good netball because that's all I can control at the end of the day.
So what are your future goals inside and outside the netball, Charlie? What do you want to do next?
Uh, I think I am only very young, so hopefully I've got a lot more years left in me. But I would love to play for England or Australia, but I would love to represent one of my countries. But then I think for me, I would just want to inspire other girls and boys that not everyone has the same pathway and it's okay to have a different pathway to someone else. Everyone has a different vision. And I think also just being confident in who you are. And I just think I want to be a figure that people look up to as an athlete, but also as a person. Because I haven't had it easy and I've had very hard conversations with coaches and about like certain ways I look and body things. And I think for me, I think everyone has the potential to play at their best and feel their best. And I think I just want to be a person that people could randomly come up to me on the street and talk to me. Or a girl might be having a really bad day and she might watch something to do with me and it makes her feel good about herself. Or, yeah, I think I just want to empower people, both boys and girls playing netball. and just love netball. And yeah, I just want to keep growing as a player, but also as a person and learn valuable life lessons through that. But also away from netball, I love working with children with special needs. So I would love to go down that path and maybe become a teacher's aide or go to uni and study teaching and specialize in people with special needs. Because yeah, I'm a very caring person. I have a big heart, and I think there's so much of me that I want to give to other people. And I think, yeah, taking that away from netball, I think, yeah, I just would love to inspire other people. And if I can just inspire one girl, that would mean the world to me. And like, as I wear my bow in my hair, and I've noticed some girls have started doing that. And like, it actually brings like a tear to my eye. Like, it makes me so happy to see girls doing that. I gave one of my bows away to a girl that's come to all my games, and she trained before us, and she cried. Esme, she's just one of the sweetest little girls ever, and I think I've inspired her so much, and I just hope that I can do that to so many other people. Um, and I might not even know it, but like having that effect on people is just like so special.
Yeah, absolutely magic. Yeah, yeah, and just
Mm.
your performances are pretty inspiring. Actually, you'd inspire us to jump off the couch every time you get an interception, which is about 50 times a game. Last question: what would your message to young netballers be? You know, you've talked about how you'd like to inspire people on their journeys. What is the main
Mhm.
message that you'd like to give to young netballers in terms of what they need to do to achieve their goals?
Well, I think I'm going off what my mum says, but like it's a no now. But if you want it, you'll get there.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's okay if you're not there just yet, but you can ask for feedback. You can ask what you can work on, but also if you hear a no, don't beat yourself up about it, because at the end of the day, it is one person's opinion at the time. But also just remember, like, why you started playing netball was because you're a little kid and you just wanted to have fun, because that is what netball is. It's to have fun. It's to play a game. To play a game, to meet friends, learn skills, get fitter. But yeah, you've just got to enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, then why are you doing that?
Yeah,
And that's what something I always come back to is like my why is obviously for my grand, but and then it's also to have fun and to smile, because when you smile, you're having fun. So yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
just have fun.
Really good advice. Thank you so much, Charlie, and thank you for your time. I'd love you to meet the netball team, what we represent on the Wirral as well. It'd be really good for you to meet the coaches and
Definitely.
stuff and meet the girls that play there, and I'm
Yeah.
sure they'd love to meet you. You're more than welcome on the Wirral anytime, and you should
Thank
definitely
you.
visit, especially if you're going back to
Yeah.
Walsall next season. Just make the journey 2 hours away to the coast, and we'll look after you.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you so
No,
much.
thank you for having me. It was good to talk.
Thank you, Charlie. See you soon.
See
Bye.
you. Bye.